Why does losing a spouse hurt so much? Hello, friends, and welcome to MindMatters. If you're watching this today, chances are you, or someone you deeply care about, has experienced the painful loss of a spouse. I want to start by saying, I am so sorry for your loss. Losing the person who stood beside you in life, through love, laughter, and challenges, is one of the hardest experiences a human being can go through. This video is not here to lecture you. Instead, it's here to walk with you through some of the biggest questions people ask when they lose a spouse. Together, we will reflect on 10 important questions, and I'd love for you to share your own experiences in the comments. Your voice matters, and your story could comfort someone else who is walking the same road. So let's begin with our first question. Why does losing a spouse hurt so much? Losing a spouse hurts so deeply because they are more than just a partner. They are your teammate, your best friend, your daily companion, and often your safe place. When they are suddenly gone, it feels like a part of your own heart has been ripped away. Think about it. How many of your daily routines were built around them? The morning coffee shared at the table, the phone calls during the day, and the evening conversations before bed. When those small but meaningful moments disappear, the silence feels deafening. Have you experienced that silence yourself? The pain also comes from the deep emotional bond you shared. Science shows that our brains literally wire themselves around the people we love most. When your spouse dies, your mind struggles to process life without them. This is why grief feels not just emotional, but physical too. Let's now consider the next question. What is the hardest part of losing a spouse? The hardest part can be different for everyone. For some, it's the crushing loneliness that fills the house after the funeral. For others, it's learning how to make decisions alone after years of partnership. Maybe for you, the hardest part is waking up in the morning and reaching for someone who isn't there anymore. Or maybe it's the first holiday, the first birthday, or the first anniversary spent without them. Which of these moments has been the hardest for you? Please share your thoughts in the comments, because your honesty might help another viewer feel less alone. For many, the hardest part is not just the absence of a person, it's the loss of shared dreams. You built plans together, and suddenly, the future you imagined disappears. That empty space can feel unbearable. Let's now consider the next question. How does losing a spouse change you? Losing a spouse changes you in ways you never expected. You may find yourself feeling older, more fragile, or more vulnerable overnight. The world can feel unsafe without the person who always had your back. At the same time, grief can shape you in surprising ways. Some people discover strength they didn't know they had. Others find a deeper appreciation for life, for relationships, or for small everyday blessings. Have you noticed any ways grief has changed you, either painfully or unexpectedly? The truth is, you can never go back to who you were before your loss. Grief doesn't just touch your heart, it reshapes your identity. You are learning to live a new chapter, even if you never asked for it. Let's now consider the next question. How to accept the death of a spouse? Acceptance does not mean forgetting or moving on. It means slowly learning to live with the reality of their absence. For many people, acceptance comes in waves, not in one moment of clarity. One step toward acceptance is allowing yourself to grieve openly. Cry if you need to cry. Talk about your spouse, even if others feel uncomfortable. Create a ritual, like lighting a candle or writing letters, to honor their memory. Which of these practices feels most meaningful to you? Acceptance also means giving yourself time. Society may pressure you to get over it, but grief doesn't follow a schedule. Be gentle with yourself. Healing happens in your own time, not someone else's. Let's now consider the next question. How do you grieve the loss of a husband? For many widows, losing a husband feels like losing protection, partnership, and companionship. The nights may feel longer and the silence heavier. Tasks once shared now rest on your shoulders alone. Grieving a husband often means wrestling with both practical and emotional challenges. Paying bills, fixing things around the house, or even deciding what to cook can feel overwhelming. Have you felt that weight? Yet within grief, many widows also find resilience. Some lean on children, family, or friends. Others join support groups where they can speak freely. What has helped you as you grieve the loss of your husband? Let's now consider the next question. How do you grieve the loss of a wife? For many widowers, losing a wife can feel like losing the heart of the home. The warmth, the care, and often the emotional anchor are gone. Grieving a wife also means facing deep loneliness. Some men struggle to express their emotions, keeping their pain bottled inside. But grief needs expression. Talking, crying, or even writing about your loss can help release the weight inside. If you are grieving the loss of your wife, remember, it's okay to feel broken, and it's okay to ask for help. Have you found it difficult to express your grief, or has talking come naturally to you? Share with us below. Let's now consider the next question. What not to do after your spouse dies? When grief overwhelms you, it's easy to make choices that hurt more than they help. Some people isolate themselves completely. Others rush into big life decisions before they are ready. Here are a few things to avoid after losing a spouse. Don't ignore your feelings or push them down. And don't rush into selling your home or moving away immediately. And don't numb the pain with alcohol, drugs, or unhealthy habits. Instead, give yourself time. Surround yourself with people who care. Seek support, whether through friends, counselors, or spiritual communities. Have you struggled with any of these don'ts? Let's now consider the next question. Is the death of a spouse harder on the wife or the husband? This is a complex question, and the truth is, it depends on the person and the relationship. Grief doesn't follow gender lines, it follows love. That said, research shows that both widows and widowers face unique challenges. Wives often grieve the loss of companionship and financial stability. Husbands often grieve the loss of emotional support and daily care. But ultimately, both experience a pain that cannot be measured or compared. So maybe the real question is not who has it harder, but how can we support each other better? What do you think? Let's now consider the next question. How to recover from the loss of a spouse. Recovery doesn't mean forgetting. It means slowly finding ways to live again while carrying your spouse's memory with you. Practical steps toward recovery include joining grief support groups to share and learn from others, creating new routines that bring comfort and stability, exploring hobbies, exercise, or spiritual practices that heal the heart, and allowing yourself to laugh again without guilt. Recovery is not about erasing love. It's about finding a way to live with love in a different form. What steps have helped you recover, even a little? Let's now consider the next question. What is the most valuable thing someone can do to support a person who is grieving a loss? When someone is grieving, the most valuable gift is presence. Not advice, not quick solutions, just presence. Sit with them, listen, and allow silence when words are too heavy. Support can also mean small, practical acts, bringing meals, helping with errands, or simply checking in regularly. Grievers often feel forgotten after the funeral, so ongoing support is crucial. Think back. What was the kindest thing someone did for you after your loss? Share your story in the comments, as it may guide others who want to support their loved ones more effectively. Let's recap. We've walked through 10 important questions about losing a spouse, from why the pain runs so deep, to how grief reshapes identity, to the steps that lead toward recovery. Each question opens a window into the experience of loss, but also into the strength and resilience that many discover along the way. Now, I'd like to hear from you. Which of these questions touched your heart most? What advice, comfort, or experience would you share with others who are grieving? Please leave a comment, ask questions, and connect with others in this community. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to MindMatters, and share it with someone who may need comfort today. Together we can walk this journey of grief with compassion, honesty, and hope. We also invite you to explore our website, www.mindmatterseveryday.com, to learn more about your mental health and wellness. Thank you.